Good evening, everyone. Legislative Day 17 will now come to order. I'd ask if you would please pause for a brief moment of silent meditation. I will now call upon Councilman Young to lead us in the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
Look at my side.
Under God.
My side. Side. Look at my side.
I think there's some new words to the pledge we didn't know.
Sounds like something side pledge.
Councilman Ketch? Maybe he muted. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of October 6th, 2025?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the journal is approved. Next, we have enrollment of bills. Bills 5225, 5625, 5725, 5825, 5925, 6025, 6125, 6225, 6325, 6425, and 6525 were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and are hereby enrolled. We've been busy. That's a lot of bills. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. First is Bill 73-25, Zoning Regulations, Artisan Manufacturing. Next is Bill 74-25, sponsored by Councilman Ertel, Zoning Regulations, Uses Permitted in the BMCCC District. Next is Bill 75-25, also sponsored by Councilman Ertel, Rental Property Inspections, Authorizations, and Enforcement. Bill 76-25, sponsored by Councilman Marks, Zoning Regulations, Energy Storage Devices, Temporary Controls, and Bill 77-25, also sponsored by Councilman Marks, Planning of Sewerage Projects, Property Owner Obligations. These are all for introduction only this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Councilman Marks?
Yes, I'd like, Mr. Secretary, can you add my name to Bill 7325 as a sponsor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We will now move on to final reading and vote of bills. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
First item, the only item actually for final reading and vote of bills is Bill 67-25, sponsored by Councilman Young, Zoning Regulations, Uses Permitted in the Office Building Residential, known as the OR1 zone.
Okay. Are there, Councilman Young, did you want to?
Happy to answer any questions if anyone has any, but 2 work sessions and that bills stayed the same. There haven't been any changes. So.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve Bill 6725?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 6725.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Aye. Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Okay, Bill 6725 is passed. The council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on October 14th, 2025. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I will now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 4.
Fiscal Matter 1, is a contract of sale with Verizon Maryland LLC. Fiscal Matter 2 is 3 amendments to contracts for DNA and marijuana testing services. Fiscal Matter 3 is a contract with GMC Contractors Incorporated. And Fiscal Matter 4 is a purchase order with Lewis Construction.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the members on any of the fiscal matters? No. Is there a motion to approve fiscal matters 1 through 4?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 4.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Okay, fiscal matters 1 through 4 are approved. We will now consider the miscellaneous business items. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the county council and the nature and parties to the contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following the award of the contract. There are 4 such contracts on this evening's agenda. First is a supplier contract with Dave Purchase Project Nason. This is for the purchase of medical supplies for the harm reduction program through the Department of Health, estimated 5-year amount of $200,000. Next is a purchase order with Geiger Pump and Equipment Company. This is for the purchase of emergency parts needed for an impeller assembly replacement at the Bowley's Quarters sewage pumping station. Total award of $36,801. Next is a supplier contract with 3SI Security Systems Incorporated for GPS stealth tracking devices utilized by various units within the police department. Estimated 5-year amount of $153,600. And a fourth is a supplier contract with Micro Automation Incorporated. This is for training software and support for the 911 Training Center. Estimated 5-year amount of $77,000.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. I guess we'll move on to the next
Yes,
item,
yes.
Resolution 4725.
Yes, sir. Next is Resolution 4725. This is a resolution that seeks the council's approval of the authorization of a payment in lieu of property taxes or pilot with Prescott Square Apartments LLC.
Okay, and I know Director Hickey had testified on this item at our work session. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Is there a motion to approve the resolution 4725?
So moved.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on resolution 4725.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks, Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 4725 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 48-25. This seeks the council's approval to accept a donation from the National Education Center for Agricultural Safety.
Okay, and I know Deputy Chief Kenneth Hughes testified on this item at the last work session. Any questions or comments from the members? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 4825?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 4825.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks, Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 4825 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 49-25. This resolution is sponsored by council members Marks, Ertel, Patoka, Crandall, and Catch, and Young. This resolution seeks the council's approval to encourage the denial of a permit for the from the Maryland Department of Environment of the Days Cove Reclamation Company's petition.
Mr. Secretary, you can add me as a co-sponsor as well.
Yes, sir, all council members.
Might as well.
Might as well. Everybody's doing it.
Yes, Councilman Marks, sorry.
Thank you very much. Resolution, Mr. Chairman, on September 16th, 2025, nearly 200 people crammed the Perry Hall Public Library to express their opinion on the proposed permit for the Days Cove rubble landfill. One person, the representative for the company, expressed support. Of all the major issues we have dealt with in eastern Baltimore County over the past decade, nothing has come close in terms of public hostility and opposition. This should be a very clear decision for the Moore administration and the Maryland Department of the Environment. An agency charged with protecting the Chesapeake Bay should not endorse a weakening of environmental protection in an area already struggling with sediment pollution, much of it from a large development site in Harford County. There is no reason to give this company any extension to its current operation, certainly not an increase to its discharge allowance or weakening of environmental standards. One final note, this company still refuses to engage surrounding neighborhoods, community leaders, and elected officials. A half-hearted appearance at one public hearing simply doesn't count. I would like to thank the county executive for issuing a letter today that agrees with the sentiment of this resolution. And I'd like to thank all of my colleagues on the council for their support. It is very important for Baltimore County government to make its opposition known to this proposal. Kill the proposed permit. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or concern? Councilman Cram?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I want to thank Councilman Marks for his leadership on this issue. And as we were discussing it in last week's work session, it dawned on me that this council has taken over the years many measures to ensure water quality, from not allowing Back River wastewater treatment plant to accept contaminated materials from out of state, to the issue that we dealt with. And again, Councilman Marks, you, not only in this issue, but the previous issue when we were dealing with, I think with the gunpowder, where there was a facility on the gunpowder that was putting raw sewage into the river. And you worked with your counterparts in Harford County, since we were on the dividing line, to basically to stop that practice. I also have to give credit to my colleague, Councilman Catch. I don't think that there has been a greater advocate towards water quality, especially our drinking water quality, but even otherwise, than Councilman Catch. And I've learned a lot from him over the years in terms of water quality and the importance that a local resolution like this can mean in order to keep our waterways clean. And if you listen to the testimony last week, the permit and the company doing this operation has overstepped for 25 years. They've reached their, I guess they've had renewals. Is that correct, Councilman Marks? They've had renewals over the past 25 years when they were supposed to be done 25 years ago. So it just seems to me that the time is ripe, and I think this fits in with the tradition of this council to take environmental matters seriously.
Well, thank you very much, Councilman Crandall. I appreciate your sentiment. And this council has shown that environmental protection is a bipartisan issue. We all agree on that. I also want to thank my counterpart in Harford County, who represents the Joppatown area, for also taking action. I want to thank the Gunpowder Riverkeeper, the Gunpowder Valley Conservancy, the Essex Middle River Civic Council, and so many other residents and organizations, the Council of Environmental Quality, really for taking action, for making their opinion known. This has been a group effort, and I truly appreciate all your collaboration.
Thank you, Councilman Marks. Any other questions or concerns from the members before we? No? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second? Okay. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on Resolution 4925?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Secretary,
Oh,
it was an amendment.
yes.
Right?
I can't believe I just did that. If we could, if there could be a motion to reconsider this vote.
I'll make the motion to reconsider. That's a mistake on my end, too. So, yes.
And I should have caught it.
And the amendment's sitting here right in front of my face.
Big bold A right here. All right. So is there an amendment that you need to
Yes, well,
read that we?
There's a motion to reconsider the vote. Is there a second?
Okay, sorry.
And
Please call the roll on
I'll call the
reconsider.
roll to reconsider the vote. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young? Aye. Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay. so
While the council is reconsidering this, there is an amendment. The amendment is offered by Councilman Marks. The council may recall that the Gunpowder River Keeper, Mr. Lagarde, mentioned that the company had to file, I think, a revised permit, and he is encouraging or he is requesting that another public hearing be held as a result of that, and this amendment would state support for that in light of the amended wastewater permit application recently submitted by the landfill to MDE. The council supports the scheduling of a second public hearing in order to facilitate additional public input. So that would be an amendment to the resolution at the end.
I'll move the amendment.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, do you want to call the roll on the amendment to Resolution 4925?
Yes. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Okay, so the amendment passes. Are there any other questions or comments from the members before we move on to revote? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 4925 as amended?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 4925 as amended.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 4925 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 50-25, sponsored by Councilman Marks. This seeks the council's approval of a resolution that would correct certain 2024 CZMP issues.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Marks?
Thank you very much. This resolution follows up on Bill 5425, as we discussed in the work session.
Okay. Is there any questions from the members? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 5025.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 5025 is passed. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Next is Resolution 52-25. This is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This resolution seeks the council's approval of the public disclosure of county employee Dawn Scarpula, who is as a county employee, has requested zoning relief in the form of a variance. I believe it is a height variance for a structure, an accessory structure, and the public disclosure is required as a result of the fact that Ms. Scarpula is a county employee.
Did you want to say?
No, so Mr. Boswick, this is simply public disclosure, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So
And apparently this hasn't happened since 2021, because
Correct.
when he told me about it, I said, I've never had this happen when I was on the council. So it's new to me.
I'll move the resolution.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, did you want to call the roll on Resolution 5225?
Certainly. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 5225 is passed. And I think that is all, other than we have some resolutions to read into the record. Is that correct, Mr. Secretary?
Correct, Mr. Chairman. We have two resolutions for introduction only this evening. First is Resolution 53-25. This is a resolution that would accept a donation of funds to the Bureau of Animal Services. And next is Resolution 54-25 that is sponsored by Councilman Ertel. This would approve the local open space waiver fees. This is in conjunction with Bill, I believe it's 7225 that was previously introduced. They will both now be on track to be voted on at the next council meeting on November 3rd. This resolution would set the actual fees of those tiers. And again, it is a companion to Bill 72-25.
So it's 71,
Oh, I'm sorry, 71.
7125.
Right.
I don't get to correct you that much, so
Yes.
I have to do it.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, good. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned. As is customary, anyone who's registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed 3 minutes to speak. And I think we have a few speakers tonight. Ms. Belcastro, do you have any speakers, or you want to call the first speaker?
Yes, I just wanted to make a note. Our apologies today. Our speaker registration was down for some time. Not anything from Baltimore County, but I'm sure everyone heard that the AWS outage was going on, so we were affected by it. The vendor that we use for our speaker registration, the site was down for some time. So there was some notation in our ticker tape about an alternate way to sign up to speak. So if someone wasn't able, we do apologize. Our first speaker is Noreen Start. Ms. Start did register prior to the site going down.
Okay, Ms. Start, are you here?
You may begin your testimony when you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good evening. I'm speaking this evening to request that council members vote no on Bill 6725. My name is Noreen Start, and I've been a resident of Kenwood Gardens condominiums for 20 years. The Kenwood Gardens community is directly across the street from the property that is the subject of Bill 6725. The bill seeks to allow the property owner, Steve Whalen, to use the property for the storage of construction vehicles and equipment. Mr. Whalen has allowed the property to be used for this purpose since October of 2024 in violation of zoning regulations. Kenwood Gardens residents have complained of dirt, debris, and noise coming from the property since at least March of this year. Most disruptive is the sound of loud backup alarms from the construction equipment and dump trucks that can begin as early as 5 a.m. and continue throughout the day. Activity at the site occurs up to 6 days per week. Sometimes the property cannot accommodate all the activity and equipment, which results in overflow parking and storage on the side of Kenwood Avenue in front of the property. Obviously, there is much more than just storage of vehicles going on at the property. I recently learned of Bill 6725 after a friend sent me a copy of an article published by the Baltimore Banner on October 6th of 2025. I learned Mr. Whalen was cited for zoning violations related to this activity in May of this year, but did not stop the activity as ordered. In September, Mr. Young introduced Bill 6725 to allow this activity to continue until at least October of 2027. This bill benefits only Mr. Whalen and exposes a climate of pay-to-play politics in Baltimore County. Passing Bill 6725 will have a direct negative impact on quality of life for the residents of Kenwood Gardens. Residents have not been allowed a seat at the table regarding this matter. I have alerted our board to the matter, but have received no response, leading me to believe there is a conflict of interest at work here. More voices should have been involved in the conversation, but it appears residents' interests were bypassed by Mr. Young, Mr. Whalen, and the Kenwood Gardens Condominium Board. You can help correct this situation by voting no on Bill 6725. Thank you for the opportunity to give testimony on this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Stark. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker.
Our next speaker is Tamara Gunter. Ms. Gunter, you may begin your testimony when you're ready.
Good evening, Ms. Gunter.
Hello, long time no see. So, I just want to say, I need to talk about the library again, gentlemen. So, my community members are getting correspondences from individuals running for office saying that they have a way to raise money for the library. I have screenshots of that. I also have screenshots where I asked them to give them my information so I can correspond. And they said, no, we don't want to ever talk to Tamara. Then I have people calling me from blocked numbers say they're trying to get in touch with me. I don't know what's going on here. I think maybe you guys, maybe you can write a check. Maybe something happened to the finances and something fell through and we're going to get the library after all. That was a joke. But I talked with Mr. Neil Greenberg, the developer who's providing the funding for the library. And it's not a Essex versus Middle River. People are on record by saying that we have to choose between the Essex and Middle River Library. And because of the income of Middle River, we don't deserve a library in Greenville, which makes no sense. That was said March the 27th, if I can remember. And I have that recording. Actually go to minute 35 and you will hear that. But I'm really concerned about individuals not being truthful, reaching out to my community, saying they have monies in ways to get money for the library. Again, we already have the money. It's from the developer. Only thing we need the county to do is the lease in 2 years when it becomes available, and also to pay for staffing. And we even have the money for books. So I want to know why is false information and narrative being given to Greenlee and Middle River residents? I have a definitely issue with that. And I think that if anyone has a way to get this, I guess the staffing or the electronics, whatever is needed in the lease money, they can call me because we're being told too many different things. I don't know who has the right information. Is it the person that's running for office? Is it the county council, the county executive? We don't know who to listen to right now. But I do have screenshots of everything just in case somebody say, nope, Tamara, it didn't happen. And we're kind of frustrated because we don't know who to believe. You know, it's just frustrating that people will do anything for a vote. Now, again, I'm all for if somebody got a way to get us this library, I'm all for speaking with them. I don't care what the past situation is. I don't harbor bad feelings. I move on because it's about the future of my community and the future of kids learning how to read. So I want to ask the county council today, do you know of any such thing, of any such new waves of money?
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Ms. Gunter. This is Izzy Patoka, Councilman Patoka. So I can tell you what I've been recommending that constituents in my district do when they feel like that they need a capital project in the budget. So last Thursday, what's the date, Kylie, on last Thursday? Last Thursday, October 6th, 16th. The planning board had its first citizen input meeting for capital projects that residents would like from fiscal year 2027 to 2033, believe it or not. And so some of the folks were able to make the meeting. I had staff at the meeting to tell the planning board, or to ask the planning board to consider in that 6-year window all of the capital projects that they feel are important to their district. For those that were unable to attend, and this is what I'm recommending you do, Ms. Gunter, is to write a letter, an email will do fine, and my team can get you the correct addresses because we've had several community groups that wanted a particular project.
to write to the planning board and say, in your deliberations, dear planning board, in your deliberations over the next 6 years, fiscal 27, which begins on July 1 of 2026 to fiscal 2023, during that 6-year window, reconsider this library. And it is what I understand to be, and I think the budget director confirmed this, it's what's called a sale leaseback. Is that right, Mr. Reed? And so a sale leaseback can be considered a capital project, as I have been trained. So ask that you would like this project to be in optimally year 1. Secondly, year 2. If that doesn't work, at least put it in year 3. And if it's still something you think is even more aspirational, put it in year 4, 5, and 6. Because those, you can get really good clarity in year 1. Year 2, if we're doing budget the right way, we can have a good idea of what would belong in year 2. Year 3 gets a little bit more foggy, and foggy may not aspirational, and then years 4, 5, and 6 are kind of more to think about into the future. But I think it's really important to not take this off the table in terms of discussion. And if it fits within that 6-year window of the capital budget, it's in play, it's in discussion. If it doesn't show up, then the folks in Greenlee have a fair complaint.
Okay, and I just want to say on the record, anyone willing to talk with me, I don't turn anything down. I love a conversation, whether, it's in my favor or not, but I don't turn down the conversation. So if anybody want to ever talk to me when it comes to this library, please reach out to me and not to mysterious people in the community, because they're going to direct you right back to me.
Sure. I'm not sure who did that, but Ms. Gunter, I'm happy to reach out to you. I used to be chief of capital budgeting for Baltimore City and also chief of capital budgeting for Baltimore County. So I've done this for, maybe 17 to 20 years. And so I'm happy to give you guidance in that.
I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Gunter, of course, as your councilman, I talk to you a lot. And we also publicized that capital budget hearing. I want to thank you for your consistent support of this library. A lot has been said about the library, and I'm not going to repeat it tonight. One thing I will point out is the Foundation for BCPL had offered to be a very strong partner with us, and that's a great organization that hopefully can lend its support in the future. I do want to read a message I got from Neil Greenberg today, who's one of the developers of Greenlee, and you know Neil very well, Ms. Gunter.
Sure do.
It says as follows: Thank you for the very hard work in promoting and supporting a Middle River Library. The task force you put together and the constant communication with us and the larger community have been invaluable. Although we feel let down by the decision not to proceed with the Middle River Library, you've positioned us very well with the next administration for success. We greatly appreciate your assurances of continued support with the next administration. I know we'll be successful in providing this desperately needed amenity to our community with just an unfortunate and unnecessary delay. With great respect, Neil Greenberg. So clearly the developers are not going to build at that site, and they are going to work with us in the future. And I thank Mr. Greenberg, and I thank you, Ms. Gunter, for all the work you put into this.
Thank you so much. And just so you know, I talk with Neil on a regular basis, and he has assured me that he's in this until we get our library. Neil has been a very, very excellent partner. And Neil is also, he's now on my board of directors for the Greenlee Community Association that I've started. He's one of our board members now. So thanks to him for volunteering to help me.
Well, thank you. And as you know, Neil Greenberg is one of the gold standard of developers, quite frankly.
I heard.
He's going to be a great partner, and we're going to continue pushing for this.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Councilman Morris. Councilman Crandall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Gunter, always good to hear from you. You are a very astute and active person in Baltimore County. I believe that Ms. Sharonda Huffman is here. Ms. Huffman, are you going to speak about the library issue? Is that your intention? So I'm going to withhold comment on that. But Ms. Gunter, what I will say, welcome to election season in Baltimore County. You're going to hear a lot from a lot of people that are running for office, and it's really up to us to parse through it, who's telling the truth and who's not, who's taking advantage of different situations, who's not. It's politics. And unfortunately, it's ugly, and people don't always tell the truth.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Not a fan of the politics. We just want what we want, and we need what we need.
I get it, but I'll speak on the library thing after our next speaker, which is Ms. Hoffman, who, as I understand, wants to talk about
Yes.
the sort of East Side Library situation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate to hear.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner. Yep, always good to hear from you.
Thank you, Ms. Gunter.
Thank you.
Ms. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Certainly. Our next speaker is Sharonda Hoffman, who is here in person.
Good evening. My name is Sharonda Huffman, and I'm from Essex. I'm not really sure what Ms. Gunter is saying or Mr. Crandall, but I'm glad you mentioned it because I want to compliment you on some of the things you said regarding the library. Both Essex and Middle River do need funding for a library. And what I did was I reached out to Tamara Gunter. However, she has been saying disparaging things about me. So when I am running for political office, I go to Greenlee, and I actually got phone numbers from people because I did that. So I can speak to whomever I want. However, what I do want to say is I don't appreciate disparaging comments from my council person. I don't know what you're trying to imply, but it means to me that you say it's a lot about politics. There's two things I want to talk about. The library first. The first thing I want to talk about is this council has an obligation to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Ms. Gunter has done a great job, but we can do more. If you're interested, you can also have an ad hoc committee because there are 2 East Side libraries that need to be done. I also talked about, you have previously talked about having, you just had a meeting about funding and affordability. I do have a question. When you weren't here, our Chief Administrative Officer, Councilman Marks kept referring to the county executive as someone who's acting. Now, I remember you being acting because you weren't voted in, but this council did vote them in. And what I do also recall is the county executive wrote a letter in July. And she asked for information in reference to, can you save money by using the same staffing from Baltimore County Public Library? She made that public. So there was a big article about putting the middle finger up to people. I just want to say, are we really putting the middle finger up to people, or we're just not responding? And maybe it should be incumbent upon our council, who was copied on the letter, to make sure there is communication between the CEO and the county executive's office, because I understand that when I talk to the people that are in the union, it's probably not possible to do that. But there's also other ways that you can start funding this library. Maybe it's different hours. Maybe it's getting a person who wants to volunteer. We have a lot of opportunities for some of our students who need to have work study programs because, like my son, he went to Salyers Point. But there are opportunities where we can start the process. And maybe if you don't have all the funding right now, you can start now. So if this council wanted to make an ad hoc committee, so when the next administration comes in here, you already have the building blocks. So in that letter, it's not just about you have a building, okay? You have to pay for the people to be in the building. It's a lot of things that the county executive said in her letter that they just don't have funding for, and I did a PIA request. So people aren't making up stuff. They're not being political. I'm running for office, but I don't have to be in office to do anything. I'm making impact regardless, Mr. Crandall. But what I also like to say, October is Domestic Violence Month, and I would like this council to implement some of those things that were in the committee, the working group on resource coordinator for domestic violence, like update our website. Why don't you make a statement? Because we're looking at all men on here, and I've heard you say nothing about my council person and his problems. And I hope that you are doing well in your sobriety, because my mother is an alcoholic. But we also have to be accountable when we're sitting in those seats. Thank you. Did you have any questions?
Comment, Ms. Huffman. So just in terms of budget, the council has, by charter, has limited authority in terms of its actions towards the budget. We cannot add money, we cannot move money, we can only cut. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be advocates for our community, and I think that's the largest role we have, the way the charter is structured, that sure, I've got a whole list right on my board of projects that I want funded in my district. Some I've been hoping and praying for while I've been advocating as well. So I wish we could fund this library through the council's initiative. I wish we could, but we'd have to, it would require a charter change for us to have that ability.
That's exactly what I was saying. You could also have committees to talk about various ideas, and some of those ideas, like you talked about the bond funding. I wrote an article in Avenue News because we only talk to the legislators in our area. You can get bond bills from the state. You know, and so that's the kind of advocacy that maybe some ad hoc committee or maybe someone more versed on how to get money. I also have talked with the federal partners in reference to a national infrastructure bill to actually get money for infrastructure policy. Not wouldn't be for this library, it's to build libraries. So I've had conversations with Johnny O's office. I've had conversation with the senator's office. So, I mean, these are the type of things that have already been, there's already been a resolution in our General Assembly. And those are simply the ideas that I was giving. I do this, I've worked in the city just like you. I've worked for a nonprofit organization for another county, and I work for the state. So this isn't something I'm just doing. I know how to put things together to make it work. And I've also worked in the nonprofit sector. So you kind of know, you have to kind of put a whole bunch of things together to make something happen. It can't just be going by the local state person to get them to see if they can do something for you when they sit in a minority. Sometimes you have to go to the majority, and that could include our whole delegation of the Baltimore County people in our General Assembly. And that's simply what I said. That was in writing in the Avenue News. No secrets.
Councilman Crandall.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Hoffman, I don't know anything about your conversations with Ms. Gunter. I don't know anything about any conflict. Believe it or not, I don't care. I don't follow you. My comments were not about you. They were about politics in general. And for you to take it personally says a lot to me. So when I mentioned politics is ugly, I wasn't even thinking about you. I don't think about you. Sorry. I just don't.
You said my name. You said my name. But I understand.
Because I
Thank you.
knew that you were coming here to talk about the Essex Library, which I have advocated for, which me and my staff have been on since the beginning. It is something that Baltimore County has funded. Baltimore County and this council approved the purchase of the property after my staff member identified the property because we had a development at that particular location that did not work out. Developer, we did legislation for them, we did a PUD, they left. The county was looking for another location. My staff member found it and identified it as this could be a possible location. Baltimore County ran with it. The previous administration purchased the property. The council has approved budget funding for planning and design. So we're ahead of the Middle River Library project. Just like when the Essex Library was being discussed, Woodlawn was ahead of us. So I think Councilman Patoka, has a point. We're all advocating for things in our own district that we think that we need. But for us, it's just a matter of advocating for our constituency. It's not a matter of campaigning. It's not a matter of, politics is ugly. But I think you took my comments way out of line.
You know what, if I did, I'm not taking it personal, but I did hear you say my name and you start talking about politics. So that's why I said
No.
Mr. Crandall, thank you so much.
All I said was, Ms. Gunter, I'm going to hold off because I think Ms. Hoffman is here to talk about the same issue. So I was going to hold off on my comments. Whatever you and Ms. Gunter have going on, it's none of my business. I don't care and I don't want to know.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
absolutely. Ms. Bill Castro.
Certainly. Our last speaker this evening is Serena Richard. Ms. Richard?
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I just wanted to respectfully request that I postpone my testimony. I was wanting to testify on Bill 7225, and my schedule, there was a discrepancy, and I realized that that bill was not being spoken about this evening.
You can, Ms. Richard, you can still testify on that bill even though it's not on the agenda. You can testify on any matter you would like to address the council on. You can certainly finish your testimony tonight and then also come to the work session when it is on the agenda next week, I believe, next Tuesday.
Oh,
Totally up to you.
Thank you so much. So I will speak this evening.
Okay.
I will speak this evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the Baltimore County Council the opportunity to present at this hearing, this session today. My name is Serena Richard, and I represent the residents as the elected treasurer of the HOA board and community at the gatherings at Perry Hall Place, which is a 55-plus community that would be directly impacted. We believe that our quality of life would suffer tremendously if this bill would not pass. As such, we are in support of the zoning regulations outlined in Bill 7225 that Councilman Marks has introduced. We are very aware that there is a 24-hour restaurant that is wanting to move within 250 feet of this community. And so what I would like to offer and to share is that the maturing and aging residents of the gatherings of Perry Hall Place have intentionally selected to move into this new community to secure a calm living environment in which to age well in place. And for us, that's an environment in which that's going to be conducive to enhance our physical and our mental health and improve our overall well-being. Seniors who have matured and aging brains need quiet living environments. And you may ask or may think to yourself, why is that so important for this population? And before I go into explain a little bit more, I also want to let you all know as a professional, I am a licensed social worker, and I've spent over 30 years working as a civil servant for the state of Maryland. I've worked in partnership with county government, state, as well as federal partners, ensuring that the most vulnerable citizens in Baltimore County, as well as the state, receive services and are provided for. There are a lot of campaigns that are going on across the state as well as the nation, and making sure that our aging population, which has been increasing tremendously, that they're going to have all the resources and support that they need. You may already know that there are situations where older people can decrease in their health due to having loud noises, a lot of commotion that may be happening around their environment. Having a 24-hour establishment is going to go against everything that is supportive and helpful for seniors. So I would encourage you all to think about this bill and how this is going to impact the seniors who have decided to live in this community, but want to make sure that they can age well in place and not be exposed to an environment where there's an establishment that is open 24 hours well within 250 feet of their home. Thank you so very much, Councilwoman Marks, for introducing this bill. And I look forward to seeing what all the other councilmen are going to vote in regards to this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Richard. Appreciate your testimony. Thank you, Ms. Richard. Appreciate your testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Richard. Have a great night. Is that all the speakers we have?
Yes,
Ms.
Mr. Chair.
Belcastro? All right, well, it's a wrap. Thank you, everyone, and be safe going home.